We will now consider a late question from Councillor Al-Samurai. Do you have a supplemental question? Question to the leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I do. I think it's no secret that our planning committee is seen as a soft touch by developers, and actually I thought what was really interesting about the Elephant and Castle application was that it showed that actually pushing back a bit does make a difference, and now developers are suddenly able to go and have a look at finding more than 33 units of social housing out of 979. Does the leader think he was wrong to support that original proposal?
I want to thank the Councillor Al-Samurai. I don't think I was wrong, because the housing that was offered included a range of housing, including London Living Wage. I would have thought that, given the information we had, it was a pretty good offer. You're right. The developer's gone away and are going to look at things, but I think it won't necessarily mean that there's more money in the scheme. It will just be that the housing that is the affordable housing offer is constructed in a different way. There'll be more social rented units as opposed to London Living Rent units probably offered when the scheme does come forward again. So no, but I think what we've done is we've listened to the views of planning committee, local councillors, and I'm fully supportive of the stance that they took and the points that they made, the concerns that they raised, because actually I think there was some improvements that could be made.
Thank you for that. We now consider, do you have a second supplemental question?
I think just to clarify, so you think that 33 social housing units out of 979 in the heart of the borough was a good deal for local residents?
I don't think my opinion really matters now, but on this particular scheme, there was an offer of 35% affordable housing, and we tried to seek policy compliance within that 35%. This didn't quite, or it didn't hit policy compliance. As I say, you could well still see a 35% offer, which will see an increased level of social rented units being delivered. I hope they'll be delivered as council housing, but you will not see London Living Rent units. And there is a case, don't forget, and this is the case that I made, there is a case for London Living Rent as a product to be offered in our borough. And obviously in a perfect world we have that as well. We wait yet to see what Delancey come back with on this one and what grant support that they can get to invest into the project. I heard the Chancellor say yesterday that he was putting another 1.7 billion into housing in London, which is much needed, including some for social housing. And we know in our borough that would help an awful lot of schemes get to an awful lot more policy compliance, and that's what we really do need to see. So I hope a lot more money flows into Southwark in terms of grant. I do remind myself again, thinking back to what happened in 2010. In 2010, the coalition government came in and immediately took £6 billion out of the affordable housing grant. That fundamentally changed how we could approach affordable housing, not only in this borough but across the country. It meant that the level of grant going to each unit was reduced from £120,000 per unit down to £20,000. It makes it very difficult, and as I've said before, when you're looking at a large complex application, we look at large complex applications in this borough, and we expect them to deliver policy compliant affordable housing, we expect them to deliver other social benefits, public realm, major infrastructure contributions to transport, etc. And there's only so much money within there. And I think that it is wrong that all of that burden falls upon a negotiation between the borough and the developer. There should far more be support coming from government in terms of grant in order to make these projects happen. Because then we won't have the kind of problems that we've seen. We'll see more housing being delivered actually if that grant starts flooding through. And that's what we all want to see. Rather than dissecting a decision that was taken January or February, I do it, rather than unimportant in so many ways, I think we need to make the case, and I think we stand united in wanting to make the case for government for more grant to come in, because that will make a genuine difference in what we all want to see, which is far more genuinely affordable housing in our borough and the mixed communities that so many have so eloquently spoken about this evening.
Thank you, Councillor. We move on to members' questions. We only have less than 15 minutes, so I'll call upon... What I would say is, please make sure, if you do a supplemental, make sure it's a genuine question rather than a speech. Thank you. Councillor Nick Dollars-Alft, please. You have a supplemental?
Thank you, Your Honour. Members of the jury. The Lib Dems have claimed we should forget the past and concentrate on the future. There are good reasons for this. Their past is